Okay, now, all right. So let's talk about trial. So we've got pretrial, and what does pretrial entail? And I know this is county specific because every county has their own requirements, but like, what do you kind of think of as pretrial?
So for the court, pretrial involves, getting a final witness list, maybe going over jury instructions if there's a jury involved, letting the judge know how many days we anticipate the trial would be. Some of those more logistical things, they will ask, have you attempted to settle? Did you do mediation? That kind of thing. And then on our end, behind the scenes, pretrial looks like preparing the client. If we have witnesses, making sure the subpoenas go out ahead of time to make sure they'll be in court, or just speaking to the witnesses, depending on what the relationship is between the parties and how easy it is to find them, preparing our exhibits, which are evidence, pieces of evidence that we might show you on the stand or another witness. It's sort of a lot of moving parts all over the place, but it's kind of like the pregame, if you will, to use a sports analogy.
It's like the practice, right? You're running that final practice. You know what you're expecting the other team to do. You've watched the film, that's kind of, yeah. Now, when we talk about these exhibits, are these exhibits that are like brand new that you haven't seen that the client's held on to? Or are they ones that have been exchanged? The other side's very well aware of them.
No, typically by the time you get to select the exhibits, everyone's seen everything. That's part of that discovery process. So we might use exhibits that the plaintiff sent us. They might use exhibits we sent them, but there's no, again, like in TV or the movies, there's no surprise gotcha evidence that comes out at trial, unfortunately. If that were the case, it would certainly make things a little more exciting. No, everything's been pretty much vetted before it gets to a courtroom.
I do love the movie My Cousin Vinny. And it's right where Vinny's, the girlfriend's like, why don't you ask for his files? And then he gets the files and he's like, I didn't know I got those. And it's like, yeah, that's discovery. Like you get the other side's files. You don't get everything. You're not going to get the attorney notes, but you're certainly going to get what documentation, photographs, video, what do they have? But you don't get anything beyond that, but that's still pretty good. Okay, so then you go to trial. What's the difference between a bench trial and a jury trial? I know we do both of those and they can be, everyone expects a jury trial, but we don't always get a jury trial.
So in order to get a jury trial, if you're the one filing the lawsuit, you have to specifically request a jury trial, and then you have to pay a deposit with the court. That's an important thing that occasionally other attorneys forget, but you have to put the jury notice on your initial pleadings and pay that deposit. Otherwise, you get a bench trial. A bench trial involves the judge sitting on the bench and presiding over a trial and making the ultimate decision as to who's at fault, what the damages are, that kind of thing.
And so in a jury trial, we all know because we've watched TV, right? The jurors come back and they're like, on count one, we find, and count two. It's criminal. We usually say claim one and claim two. In civil, no one does TV shows about civil courts.
They don't. Suits, but even suits, they have a file that's this big and it's a complex litigation and it's over by the end of the episode.
Yeah. So okay.
That's my proof of Suits. But go on.